All right. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Give me a second. What up? What up? All right. I think everything's all set up. I think we're all good. Trying to figure out where I can put this. All right. Should be good. All right, sorry about that. And all right, first and foremost, we're gonna start on the 5-minute chart. You go to the 5-minute chart. We got about 3 minutes waiting for that 5-minute range to start to form. Once that 5-minute range forms, you know the deal. You know the deal. So let's see what this 5-minute range. In the meantime, let's see. Do we have any news today? Forex Factory. Forex. So no major news today. Let me double check with FinViz. Yep, no major news today, so nothing we gotta be worried about on the news side of things. Let's see, let's see. Alright. When's that 5 minutes close? 1 minute left. So 1 minute left till that 5-minute range has closed. Appreciate the likes, thank you. See how that 1 minute, see how that 5-minute range. So far it's a pretty decent sized range for that 5-minute range, which I like to see. Are we breaking out of the highs? Wow. Alright, we're breaking through that top. Really big 5-minute range. 23,812. All right. Let's see. 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. Just waiting for that 5-minute range to form, and then we're gonna mark it out. Actually, I can mark out the bottom already. So the bottom of that 5-minute range right here. Boom. All right, there's the bottom of the 5-minute. And there's the top of the 5-minute range. Let's see how this happens. There's the top of that 5-minute. We're going to drop down to a 1-minute now. All right, all right. Now, waiting for a closure on the 1-minute possibly. We're trading futures, so NASDAQ, not trading stocks. Alright, failure to close above that 5-minute so far. Let's look on the higher time frames for now. We got about... Oh, there's the closure actually. See what happens. There's a gap here. Now, I'll be kind of waiting for a bearish gap to form, possibly for like a small, for a retracement. So we got that closure out of that 5-minute range. It's Ninja Trader. Bro, what the hell is wrong with my phone? Why does it do that? Bro, never get a refurbished phone. They take your good phone and they send you garbage. I am never in my life getting a refurbished phone ever again. Such, like... Alright, alright, so far we got that closure. We're getting a gap, but I can't... Gap has to be inside that range, so... Let's look on the higher time frame, see what's going on. 15-minute time frame. 15-minute time frame. Okay, if you look on the 15-minute, we got some bearish gaps. It's about to close above this 15-minute bearish. We could be going for those highs. Are those? That's not all-time highs, is it? Let me see. Yeah, 24,068 is all-time highs. 24,068. So no, there's some room for all-time highs, but go back to the 1-minute. What up? What up? Good morning. All right. See what happens here. So see, so far we're closing out of that range, but we're not getting any kind of momentum back into the range, right? We're holding above the range. For me to take an entry, I need this thing to start dropping and to for a bearish gap to form back inside this range. Now the gap has to form inside the range. It can't be outside. So you see that retracement? You got that retracement. This may be just a retracement to fill this gap, so I gotta be careful. Alright. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. We'll see what happens, actually, if it can maybe take out these lows. Not a bad spot for price to come down. Take out these lows. We got a lot of support down here. We got the 200. We got the 200. We got view up. So if price can kind of maybe come down here and take out this support, confirm, close back below this range, and then maybe get a bullish move back on up. Not a bad... So you see it's trying to bounce off this... this 1-minute bullish gap. See, if it closes below this gap, starting to look ugly for the Let's see. Da, 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 da. Let me go on the 15-minute. So we're pretty bullish. If you look on higher time frames, we are pretty bullish. So there's a gap here, right? But I need the gap to be inside that range. I can't take a short with a gap outside the range, because then you end up getting it pushing up through. Because see, it's going back outside the range. So possibility it could start pushing for those highs again. I would rather personally wait for price to come back down and try to buy down here somewhere. Be a better quality trade. Appreciate the likes. Thank you. So we gotta wait for the good setup. Patience is key. It's Monday, right? So no reason to be jumping into dumb trades and man, we are getting that rejection. Holy crap. Buyers are still stepping in pretty strong. Yeah, let me see if let me see, take profit. So so if anyone's interested, Take Profit Trader having 40% off sale. 40% off sale and never pay activation fee. So initially when you buy the Take Profit account, you buy the when you pass the evaluation account, there's no activation fee. So all you do is pay for the evaluation account and that's it. Which is pretty cool actually. And Take Profit Trader, for anyone who doesn't know, once you get to a certain target level in your funded account, you can start taking daily payouts. So if you make $400, you can request a withdrawal. If you make another $400 the next day, you can request another withdrawal, which is pretty cool. That's why I decided to get Take Profit Trader accounts. I think it's pretty cool getting to that level to start taking daily payouts. So we'll see what happens. Closing back outside that range. What will it do? Like I said, I would rather wait for it to come down here, where we got view up, where we got the 200, we got, you know, a lot of support down here. So this is a way better area to buy. Potentially, you know, for a price maybe to get a retracement back down. And then maybe it starts going back, because we're not too far away from those all-time highs. Let me see if I could see it on like an hourly. You can't see it on an hourly chart. But those all-time highs are at 23,092. So you can pretty much mark it out. 23. Yeah, so all-time highs are about, let me grab this one. 2307. Wait. Oh, 23,902. Why am I saying 23,902? So, oh, it's right there. So we're very close to all-time highs. Could be going for those all-time highs. Again, be very careful shorting. Do not short all-time highs. Just opinion of mine. Not a good idea to be short all-time highs. Typically, right, when we get this kind of closure above this 5-minute range, how we're doing right now, right, we're probably going to start to try to move up to those all-time highs. But the question is, right, how big of a pullback are we going to have for the pullbacks that we do have? So because I don't know how big the pullbacks are going to be to get to those all-time highs, I would rather wait potentially for that bigger pullback and then try to target. You know, wait for price to come to me instead of trying to chase price, like buying up here and trying to chase price to the top and getting stopped out. It's better to wait for that retracement to give you the best possible entry to go for that level. Look at ES, stop looking at longs. So we'll see. I personally want that retracement. If it could give me a, you know, a good retracement back down. It's going to dump. Well, obviously it's going to dump, but the question is when. Like, saying that the market is going to dump is like every day the market dumps at some point, but the question is, you know, it could dump. I agree. It could very likely dump, but I still think it wants to go for those, you know, potentially go for those all-time highs. We are so close to all-time highs that, you know, I would want this thing to dump and potentially me get a long back down here somewhere. I'm not opposed to this thing dumping. I'm using I'm trading with I'm on Ninja Trader, trading Apex and Take Profit Trader accounts. Just saying to be careful. Yeah, I know, I agree. I mean, I think it could have a pullback before it goes to those highs. But the same time is it's not really the smartest thing to do is to short when it's this close to all-time highs. I mean, anybody, you know, that's just the common general rule of trading, not to short all-time highs. Because this is what happens. You end up getting, like, you try to short it stops you out. Try to short it stops you out. And then by the time it actually starts dumping, you got stopped out so many times that you can't even take the actual trade. Look at the gaps. Yeah, I saw the gaps on the 15-minute chart. There's I don't think it closed above the gap, did it? Yeah, so it did. I mean, that's a huge red flag in itself for me. You know, going short is a really big red flag. First of all, we closed above this 15-minute gap right here we have to the left, this massive 15-minute gap. Right, we closed above this gap on the 15-minute time frame. We left a bullish gap. So if you mark out that bullish gap, and there's a bullish gap. Well, this 15-minute hasn't closed yet, but I mean, it's when is that next 15-minute candle close? 10 o'clock opens. 10 o'clock, I think. Oh, so it just So it just opened. So not necessarily, I can't really mark out this gap just yet because that candle didn't close yet. So technically it's not a gap yet. But, you know. See, this is what happens when you try to short up here. Look at that. So many people just got stopped out. Wait, on the bullish gap? Let's look at the 5-minute chart. What's going on the 5-minute? Not really any gaps on the 5-minute. Right, but there is a lot of support down here. This like, what is it? 789 level, right? There's a lot of support down here. Even on the 5-minute, you got that 200 day right there. Where's the 200 on the 15-minute? 15 minutes a little lower, but on the 5-minute, you could kind of see what's going on. We got, you know, a lot of support down here in this area. Oh my gosh. Rippers. So a lot of times, see, we're closing above the range. When we start to close above this 5-minute range and we start holding like this, right? Typically we can, a lot of times we end up holding that top. We end up being pretty bullish for a while. And listen, if I don't get a setup, I don't get a setup. I'm not chasing this. I need to get a good entry. I'm not trying to long up here. If I don't get a good entry, guess what? It's all good. It's Monday. You know, we got a whole week's worth of trading, so I'm up on my account, so actually I haven't taken a loss on these accounts yet. The trying to pass evaluation accounts, not my funded accounts, but 7 evaluation accounts, 5 with Apex, 2 with Take Profit Trader, and yeah, so I haven't taken a loss on those accounts, so I'm gonna be patient. Almost took, yeah, actually almost took a loss on pretty much every trade I took. Every trade I took was it got pretty close, but they all worked out. Nasdaq bullish off open. Yeah, it's been bullish. We're above VWAP. We're above the 200. I mean, everything is screaming bullish right now. Nothing's really. We closed above. If you notice on the 15-minute time frame, said earlier, right? Look on this 15-minute. This bearish gap right there, right? If you mark out that bearish gap, what you notice is on the 15-minute time frame, we closed above that bearish gap. So we pretty much inverted that bearish gap. So that's a bullish sign in and of itself. We need people like you to just keep prop firms running. Those prop firms, trust me, they don't need people like me. They do not need people like me. They make enough money without anybody like me. I mean, pretty much, there are so many people that trade prop firms that. Are you in this or waiting? I'm waiting for a retrace. I'm not getting in this. I'm like trying to, like, yes, this thing could rip up and just keep ripping, but this does not make any sense to be getting in right here. We could have a pullback anytime this thing can start pulling back. So I would rather potentially miss out on this trade wait for a pullback back into VWAP, back into like down here in this area. That's the ideal. I would want to see it pull back, maybe take out these lows, close down, close back inside the range, give me a bullish gap, start confirming that it wants to go back up. So that's what I want to see. If I don't see it, I ain't taking a trade. I'm in at 835 because of IFEG and retested it. As long as you have a strategy and a plan, right? There's nothing, like, it's fine. But going in here without a strategy and plan, just hoping it goes up because all-time highs are there. 835s. Yeah, I mean, if you got a strategy, if you got, you know, stops in place and everything, then we are ripping. We're pushing up to that pivot point. So pretty close to that pivot point. See what happens at that pivot. Four-hour high, yeah. I got that marked out. There's 4-hour highs right there. So you gotta be careful. You could see some rejection here at this pivot point. There could be some rejection here. Appreciate the follows and likes. Thank you. So, man, is today gonna be a day where I just don't get a trade? Man, this sucks. Pivot point indicator called? It's just called pivot points. Mine is, let me see. On Ninja Trader, on Ninja Trader, it's just called pivots. Yeah, it's a no news Monday. Some people don't trade no news. Some people don't trade no news Mondays. Some people do. We're getting a good move, but we didn't get the retracement. I mean, we got a retracement into this bullish gap here, but that's not my strategy, so I'm not gonna try to jump in, you know. My strategy doesn't play out. It doesn't play out. I don't take a trade. And not taking a trade is just as good as taking a winning trade. Told you, be careful at that pivot. We're gonna get a rejection off that pivot probably. And the pivot points go for the win. Come on, I really do want that retracement. I hope it starts dumping. Personally. Oops, sorry. Took a $300 scalp, short. Yeah, that's not a shorts. Rejected right off that pivot. I mean, I wouldn't use the pivot point as, like, you know, just because it's at the, like, don't take a trade just because it's at the pivot point. But if this aligns with what you're already looking for and your strategy aligns with this pivot point, then it just gives you extra confidence. But trading off of them, I mean, you're nice. I'm telling you, like, anytime I start to trade, everyone starts to call me. But yeah, I wouldn't take a trade just because it's at the pivot. Because sometimes it does go, you know, it breaks through it and then dumps it. Sometimes it breaks through and keeps going and just disrespects the crap out of it. Do you hope or play by structure? No, so my strategy is the 5-minute range. I look in that 5-minute range. So in this range, you typically have the first 5 minutes, you have the most volume, right? So the trade I look for every single morning is, right, for price to form in that 5-minute range. I have these two lines are marked out. That is the 5-minute range. So it broke out of the 5-minute range and I looked for a bearish gap to potentially go short. So I was thinking about going short here, but the reason I didn't go short was because even though we have a bearish gap right there, the bearish gap needs to form inside the range. It can't form outside the range like that. It invalidates my trade. So that's why I stayed out of this trade. So for me, like, potentially what I would potentially like to see, right, if price could come all the way back down here, if it could close below this 5-minute range and then start pushing back inside this 5-minute range, leave behind a bullish gap, and then my entry will be off that bullish gap to the next liquidity point. And then and then I can wait and I can ride that move all the way back. So but this is like a perfect example why I don't want to buy up here, right? Why I said I don't want to long right here, because if I would have longed right there, what would have been happening? I would have been in drawdown right now. Getting a pretty heavy rejection. It has not swept those 4-hour highs, so that's a good sign. We could be getting a rejection back down to potentially continue going up. And the thing about it is we have VWAP down here. We got VWAP down here, so that's another good sign down here that for a support level. And you see it came down to that top 5-minute range, and now it's starting to show some kind of buying pressure off the top of the range. But see if it holds. Because I'm long today, if price goes to the lows. Look to see if you could do a 30-minute. Oh, 3-minute. The thing about that is I would have to back test it. I don't know if it works. Like, you know, I don't want to adjust time frames just to try to get an entry. Because like on a 3-minute, let's see. Like, yeah, I probably would have got a false entry on a 3-minute. Like, it wouldn't have worked on a 3-minute. Because, like, you have, what, 9:30 right there. Let's see it. 9:30. So you have 9:30, 31, 32, 30. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. I mean, actually, the trade wouldn't have. You just have you have a way smaller range, which is not good, necessarily. But you wouldn't even got a trade. Yeah, the reason I do the 5-minute first, the 5-minute time frame is also, like, the 5-minute range is a pretty popular thing. I'm looking for buys. I'm looking for buys, but if the market doesn't give me a entry, then I'm not going to take it. I'd rather be break even on the day than, you know, take a loss. Obviously. So you can see how we'll price, right? Price came back down to that 5-minute range, and it's bouncing off the top of the 5-minute range, so holding up. So pretty bullish sign. Oh, I see what you're saying. Mark out 30-minute. I mean, yeah. You could. I just don't. Did you back test it and see how if it works good? I would need to. I'm gonna stick with the 5 minute for now, because that's what I've back tested. But I just don't want to screw up my. I just want to see how well this strategy works. So far, you know, it's been working. It's had literally what last 3 days, the last 3 trades were winning trades. So hopefully it continues that way. But yeah, if you trade the 30 minute, let me know how it works. I am interested to see. But most people trade the breakout, the 30 minute, like, people trade opening range breakouts, which is different than what I'm trying to trade. Like, most people write a lot, like, the most popular one is probably the 15 minute. The 15 minute opening range is probably the most popular orb strategy that people use. Obviously, some people use 5 minute too. I watched the guy get squeezed 3 times for 12K before 7:30 this morning on live. That's wild. Yeah, I don't get why, like, if your strategy isn't working, why try to keep jumping into something and trying to fight what, you know, price action is giving you? He was still smiling. I actually saw that the other day too with another trader. It was on Friday. Every single trade he took was a wrong trade. It was the funniest thing ever. It is entertaining, but like I don't get that. For me, if I have a strategy and I take a losing trade on that strategy, if I look for a specific setup and I get stopped out, I'm not gonna try it. Like most of the time, I'm not gonna try it again. Very rarely will I try to jump back in again. And that's why so many people are unprofitable, because they get emotional. They can't stand taking a loss, so they keep forcing something that's not working. And if you keep forcing something in the market that's not working, guess what? You're gonna keep getting wrecked and wrecked. And then you start asking yourself, bro, how am I taking every trade I take is a losing trade? It's because you're forcing them, and you're trying to force things in the market when the market's not giving you what you want. So you can't force it. That's why I say I'm waiting. Why am I waiting for the market to come back down here? Way better entry down here for a potential long back up. If I don't get that entry, like, I don't know if it's something you just develop with experience, but like having a break-even day, if you actually notice, some of the most profitable traders do not take trades every single day. And like, to me personally, I don't want to talk about any other, talk bad about any other traders on TikTok lives, but when I'm scrolling through TikTok lives and I see traders and they're constantly in a freaking trade, every time I scroll past their live, they're always in a trade. And to me, that's just a red flag. Like, to me, it's a red flag, and it just seems like you're trading just for the, just to entertain. Because obviously when you're in a trade, you do get way more views because people are interested to see like how the trade works out. So, I don't know. Unless you're a scalper, and maybe you are, then, as long as you're trading your strategy. But if you're putting on trades just to put on trades, it's not really smart. I mean, it's fun for entertainment, but... Alright, we're starting to get a retrace off that bearish gap. So... Can't close above that gap. Better not to trade than to lose money. That's for sure, yeah. I mean, like I and this is why important like having a strategy in back testing. Like according to my back testing, there are times where I can go a couple days without taking a trade. It's possible. But guess what? When I don't take a trade and I'm patient and I don't lose any money, guess what happens when I do get a setup and it's a good setup? I start making more money instead of losing money on enforcing things. It's like being break even on a day is amazing. That's first of all, you're disciplined. I mean, you gotta look at trading as a business, right? You don't want to just buy something to buy something. That's in any business. You don't buy something to buy something. You buy something to make money. There's a saying, right? Like, for those of you who like know that I'm in the car market, right? I buy and sell cars. There's a saying in the car market for people who buy and sell cars. You don't make money when you sell the car. You make money when you buy the car. Like when you, right? If you can buy the car for like a really good price, you've already made money. But when you're buying something just to buy something, you're asking to take a loss on something because unexpected things happen, right? Unexpected repairs can pop up, things that you didn't expect can pop up, and that eats away, and then boom, you're losing money. But when you buy it at the right price and you account for all the things that could happen, same thing with trading. Same thing with trading. You want to buy at a discount and then sell at the premium, not buy at the premium and then sell at a discount. It's not a profitable strategy. I know some people like to do that. And their trades, yeah, and their trades are 100-point moves with like 5-point stops. Like, bruh, come on, man. Like, maybe some new people who don't trade maybe can believe that, but the people who actually trade and have been trading for a while knows that, bro, it's not possible that every time I'm in your live, you're taking like 1 to 20 trades, 1 to 20 R trades, and somehow you're always in profit, like a crazy amount. You gotta be careful. I'm just like, you do have to be careful with, you know, who you watch. People will do some sleazy stuff. They'll have multiple accounts. They'll put trades on one account, and then whatever on one account, and then they'll go the opposite on another account, and then whatever account goes in the right direction by a lot, boom, they mark it out as if they're in a winning trade, but like it's all statistics, right? A person who I'm not saying you can't take 1 to 20 RR trades. People trade those profitably. But if you do trade 1 to 20 RR trades and you have a strategy, your win rate is going to be low. It's just statistics. You're going to take a lot of losses before you hit that 1 to 20 RR trade, right? You're probably going to have a win rate of like 20 to 30%. So you can't be in a winning trade every single time. And somehow if you've cracked the code, I mean, you should be like one of the richest people on earth. If you've somehow cracked the code where you can have a 90% win rate and have 1 to 20 RR trades. Hedge funds would be freaking scramming to hire you. Yeah, and that's the sad truth about trading these days. Like, trading influencers and stuff like that, most trading influencers do not make money trading. A lot of trading influencers do not make money trading. They're making money off. Now, do they get payouts? Yes, they do get payouts. But the strategy that they're using in funded accounts with these prop firms, if they do that same exact thing in a live account, they're gonna lose money. It's not sustainable, right? To go crazy heavy size and just like, that's what they're trying to do. And they do get payouts, right? But to actually have like one account and keep that same account for a very long time and get consistent payouts on that account, Very, very little people can do that. They all like to, you know, Discords, right? Buy my Discord, join my Discord, pay a, you know, whatever fee. And then they don't need to make money on trading because they make money on Discords. Some people, dude, some traders out here making over 100K a month just on Discord. So you can imagine that. If you're making 100K a month on your Discord and courses and stuff like that, you don't need to make money trading. You could just be entertaining. You could just take dumb trades and, you know, teach people the very basics of trading, but you yourself never really proven. That's why, even me, like, that's why I would never, like, in the situation I am right now, I would not open up a Discord or a course. I don't even feel like I'm good enough in trading to open up a Discord or a course or anything. So, and I've been doing this for 2 years. I don't feel like I'm good enough to be even, like, you know, charging people to teach them when you know, they could learn pretty much everything for free. Now, for someone maybe that's proven to be, like, very profitable and has taken a crazy amount of money out of the markets, then he sells a course or that's fine then. But you just have too many people starting Discords and they've been trading for like 6 months. Like, bruh, you've not gone through any market cycles to, like, to start, like, teaching people. All right, coming back down into this, so far, right, not a good sign for bulls right now. That rejection right there, that lower high, starting to get like a little bit of a structure change. If we could break this low, this could be a change in structure, but I still think we want to, I still think we're going to go for those highs, all-time highs. Though we got really close to all-time highs. So I still think we could potentially take it out. The question is how big of a pullback. Are you funded? Yes, I am. I have 10 funded accounts, and then I'm getting 7 more right now. 5 more with Apex and 2 more with Take Profit Trader. So if I pass these accounts, which I should pass these pretty, like, by the middle of this month, hopefully I should pass them. I'll have 17 funded accounts. Alright, we're starting to break this, break this low, starting to... Question is it going to take out this low and start making a leg back up, or are we going to break it and start holding it as resistance? So far, still kind of, we're sweeping it and showing buyers trying to step in, but all right, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on a higher time frame. So we do on a higher time frame, if you notice, there is a 15-minute bullish gap right there. So this could be retracing to fill that imbalance right there, right? As you see, I can probably mark it out actually, just to have an idea on a lower time frame where that gap is. I'm telling you, man, I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. All right, so there's that bullish gap marked out. See what happens. So, see, it tapped into that imbalance. Now it's starting to show a leg back up, but we got view up and the 200 pretty much right inside this bullish gap. You could start seeing a bounce here. So, all right. What percent could be considered as good payout from a funded account? What I would recommend is, right, in every funded account, you have a buffer zone, right? So you have to get to a certain level to even request a payout. And a lot of times above the buffer zone, you're trailing drawdown stops. So what I would recommend is get to that buffer zone and then get above that buffer zone the payout that you could take. So that the ideal thing to do is when you take a payout, that you're still in that buffer zone, right? So you don't want to take a payout and be like one trade away from blowing your account, right? So you want to get to that level so where you could take a payout and still have a lot of balance in your account, a lot of buffer for drawdown. But there's no really like percentage or anything. It's just and that's the power of having multiple funded accounts, right? If you have 7 accounts and you know, you take your $500 above the buffer zone, you could take a $3,500 payout. Take a couple trades above that buffer zone, give yourself a little bit of wiggle room so that when you take a payout, yeah, it drops a little low, but you still have a lot of drawdown left. And like the traders that, right, they get to a certain level just to take a massive payout and blow their account. Prop firms don't necessarily like to see that. Like, they'll give you the payout, but a lot of prop firms could stop you from buying more accounts eventually if they see that if you're just trying to do that. Do you have any information on the Lyft stock, and if I buy into that, how I will be? I don't offer any financial advice, and I don't trade stocks. I trade futures. I trade price action. I don't look at any news events. All I trade is price action. That's it. So we're getting a price action 101. We're getting a bounce off that bullish 15-minute gap right there. You see it tapped into that gap. Now look at that leg back up. Now the question is, right? The question is, we do have resistance up here. There is, see this old support level. Old support turns into new resistance. So although we did get a push off that bullish gap, we're starting to get a good move, a little bit of a move out of that bullish gap. It's got to get through this resistance. If it can't get through this resistance, right, this is going to hold as resistance. This could start moving down. So which funding firm do you consider as best for beginners? So best for beginners, Apex. And the reason I say Apex, so Apex isn't having a sale right now, but typically they're gonna come out with a sale probably soon. Typically they have like an 80% off sale, or usually their accounts are like $33. Right now they don't have a sale because they just had a massive 90% off sale, so I think they're kind of like laying off right now on the sale. But I would wait for Apex to have another like 80% off sale, which would probably be pretty soon if I'm guessing. And you know, just buy one account and size accordingly, so that like go on the micro chart, take one micro contract, like make that account last you all month long. Your goal as a beginner trader is to make that account last as long as possible, because you're going to blow accounts. As a beginner trader, you're going to blow accounts because you're learning. So if you can buy a $33 account and you can stretch that account all month long and spend $33 for a whole month and be, you know, it's not bad. But do not start blowing accounts left and right and then $33 here, $33 there. By the end of the month, you're spent $1,000. Like, be careful for that. But the reason Apex is a good for, obviously for beginners, I say, is because their accounts usually are so cheap that if you blow an account, right, it is what it is, for especially for new traders, that you're going to blow accounts. So you want to get the cheapest firm possible. And then once you get experience and you kind of know how to trade, have a strategy, you can get more expensive accounts with, you know, better benefits, and you can buy a bunch of Apex accounts and scale those accounts. Like, the scalability of prop firms is actually pretty crazy. I'm not sure if Apex is regulated in the UAE. You gotta check their go on their website, and you should be able to find some information about that in their facts page on their website, but I'm not sure. Last week I bought an Apex account. Do I have to pay for trading platform like Tradeovate? No, you don't. I'm not 100% sure about Tradeovate, but like Ninja Trader, most platforms are like free. Like Ninja Trader, I didn't have to pay anything. They use a third-party service. Like, obviously you chose Tradeovate. I have RTrader, and there is, like, once you pass in your evaluation account, there's an activation fee, but you don't have to, for the accounts, there's an activation fee, and then that's it. You don't have to pay for platform or anything. Are you gonna enter? I wish. It's not giving me what I want. Today, honestly, today may be one of those days where I just don't get a trade set up. I like what I wanted to see, right? Man, we're getting a big move off this bullish gap. Although, like, right, I like this stuff that I'm predicting and saying, like, we probably are going to get, you know, a bullish move off this gap, right? Although I could predict it, doesn't mean I'm going to take a trade here. It's just not my strategy. So what I personally wanted to see for my strategy is closure below this 5-minute range here, and then start to close back above with a bullish gap. And then once I take a bullish gap inside this range, I can take a way better, you know, way better entry, way better, you know, target for... It could still happen. It could still happen, but I'm saying, like, I'm still waiting for it. But whoever took this trade, I mean, it's I told people there's a lot of support down here. We got view op, we got the 200-day, we got view op right above that 200-day, and we have a bullish gap. That is 3 confluences saying that price could bounce right there. 3 different things saying that price could bounce right there. And the more confluences you have stacked on top of each other, typically is like a better confirmation. Now, you don't want to look for like 10 confluences, because then you're just never going to take a trade. But typically when you have 3 big confluences like that on top of each other, that's a good support level. Yeah, it touched the box, but that's the 5-minute range. So it's bouncing off that 5-minute range. I need it to close below and then push back into it is my strategy. Like, for example, right? Let me show you this. I'll show you what I'm looking for. I'll go back in time. All right, this was, look, this was Friday. I think this was Friday. Yeah, this was Friday. Friday's trade is a perfect example of what I look for, right? 5-minute range. Obviously marked out this high and low of this 5-minute range. We opened up and we were bouncing inside this 5-minute range for a while. You can see we failed to close above here. And then finally, when we broke out of this 5-minute range, we closed below the 5-minute range, right? You got a candle close on the 1 minute. Price did what? Pushed back into the 5-minute range, but failed to leave a bullish gap. So I did not enter. Closed back below. Then we ended up pushing right back into the 5-minute range here. Right? We pushed back into that 5-minute range. We got a candle close inside that 5-minute range. And we have a bullish gap form inside that 5-minute range. So enter off the bullish gap to the next liquidity point. That's a perfect example of what I look for. And as you can see today, 5-minute range, I'm not getting, right? I'm not getting what I want to see. So, and we're going for those highs, looks like. Like, although we did have a bearish gap right here, right? You need, like, I need most of it. Like, the whole thing doesn't have to be inside. The whole gap doesn't have to be. But, like, 90% of that gap has to be inside the range for me to take a short. I can't have this, like, just did not look good for shorts here at all. We have too much support down here. And that's kind of where discretion comes in. Sometimes, that's the discretionary part of trading is sometimes you can get your setup, but you just look at it and you're like, man, there's just so much. If I'm trying to take a short, like there's so much support right below here that, you know, maybe I'm not, even though it's my setup, maybe I'm not willing to take the trade. That sometimes does happen. And that's where discretion comes in with your strategy. I got in long at 88.29. Yeah. Not a bad long. I mean, we tapped into this bullish gap. Started to push back above. Right? We have a little 1 minute inversion right there. Inverted it. Back up to the top. So, not a bad entry. Good risk to reward. As long as you knew where your stop was, that's the most important thing. And we just took out the highs, pushing back up to that pivot point. Took out, it's not all-time highs yet, but we took out highs of this morning. And getting another rejection off the pivot point. Oh, man. It's funny because I know some people are going through this right now. I know people are in a trade right now targeting all-time highs. And, like, they went through this drawdown right here. And now they're going back up. Now it's another back down. Boy, that is so annoying if you're in a trade targeting those highs up there. Another nasty rejection off the pivot. Boy, that pivot point is like... has been working so good today. Like 2 perfect bounces off that pivot point. So like me, I would not go long here. I mean, that's just me, but we swept the high, especially if we sweep in a high. Here, give me a second. I'll be back in a second. Ugh. trailed profit. That's good. See, that's smart. That's smart. You never know what's gonna happen. Last thing you want to do, especially the thing you got to be careful with in funded accounts, is the trailing drawdown. You never want to be up in a trade like by a lot and then have it pull back like a lot on you, because that drawdown is trailing. Shorts? No. Shorts are stupid here too, because you're so close to those highs up there, all-time highs, that it's not a good idea to short near all-time highs. Price is just naturally attracted to when it's this close to all-time highs. It's gonna want to take it out probably. Trust me, I've learned from experience when I kept trying to short all-time highs, and you just keep getting wrecked. What time is it? 10:30. Sometimes we do get a reversal at 10:30, so it's a weird area. Like, if you're not already in a long from like down here, and you have like a trailing stop, maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's smart to be 10:30. We sometimes do get a reversal at 10:30, so a pretty big reversal sometimes. So, got to be careful. We're pretty bullish. I mean, oh, we do have another bearish. I didn't even notice that. There's another gap here. There's another bearish gap right there on the 15-minute. That's what it was respecting, that bearish gap. So 15-minute candle, right? Right now, it's what? No. So 10:45. What time is it right now? 10:38. So if this 15-minute candle can close above this gap, pretty bullish sign again. I didn't even notice the second one. Uh-oh. Starting to squeeze. Starting to squeeze! Everyone who's shorting, squeezed out! I know there's just someone who keeps trying to short this. Now, you could have got a nice short, but... Stopped me out, then went back up. I break even? Oh, no? Yeah, that's a bummer. I literally pulled back into this 15-minute gap and just ripped. So that pullback right here, right? That pullback was to get to that imbalance, to fill that imbalance, to rip back up. Right? And you see that on a 15-minute time frame, right? We got that massive move up, And then we got that retracement back to fill this imbalance, and then filled that imbalance, and then ripped right back up. Now, oh, we still got time. Oh man, today may be one of those days where it's just like, what a bummer. Yeah, the reversal was crazy. I mean, I figured we could get a... If it was going to reverse, I figured that's where it was going to reverse, is right here. It's a lot of support right there, so... Whoever caught that, good job. If it was your strategy. Were you able to enter? No, I didn't enter this. Although I knew it was, like... It was likely to reverse there. But it's just not my strategy, so I didn't take it. For these accounts, I'm looking for a specific strategy to trade. I do break even after at 80% TP, then manual move TP to stop after. Yeah, I do that too. I do that too, but like if I'm in a trade, right, and I'm trying to hit TP and price comes up super close to TP, like it's almost taking my TP out and then starts reversing, my stop has to be at break even, because if price comes that close to TP and then starts moving back down and comes back to my break even, I have to get out break even. Because it could be going back for a low. I'm barely learning. What does that mean? To make money, you have to buy and sell first. Yeah, so there in futures trading, there's two types of positions, right? Actually, three types of positions. When you're not in a trade is a position too. But that's beside the point. So two types of positions. There's longs and there's called shorts, right? Long is when you make money when it's going up, and short is when you make money when it's going down. So when you're in a long, say we're not gonna go into like the complex part of like limit orders. Limit orders are pretty much buying at a specific price. Market orders are buying at whatever price it could fill you at the moment. So for example, a market order, to go long, you buy market, and then once the price goes up to a specific, your TP, either you can put a limit order in to sell limit at a specific price, or you could sell market at a specific price up there. To short, you have to first sell, and then when it goes down, you're making money, and then to cover your short, you have to buy back. So it's just when you want to make money when it's going down, you do the opposite of what you do when it's going up. In simple terms. So we'll do it manually. Yeah, so if you put limit orders in, like if you put a limit order in, you're pretty much saying, I want it to fill me at this specific price. Right? Market order is whatever price, but yeah, when price comes down there and it fills you, and that's it. And you will see you're in a trade. Now, sometimes you can get a situation if you start using a bunch of contracts. If you're in like a live market, it doesn't really happen when you're prop firms, when you're sim trading, it doesn't really happen. But in a live market, what can happen is called like, because you're wanting price to fill you at a very specific, level. Sometimes it feels like if you have say 10 contracts, it fills 5 of those contracts, but because price moves so volatile, wasn't able to fill the rest of the 5. But typically in like prop firms, when you're in a sim account, that doesn't happen because it's a simulated. You don't really go through that. Now, on a sim account, what you can go through is when you're copy trading accounts. Some accounts get filled, some accounts may not get filled. But that's, for me, that's pretty rare for that to happen. Typically, all my accounts get filled. Most of the time, I'll put limit orders in, right? And the reason I put limit orders in is because I know exactly where I want to buy and where I want to sell. So, man, price is coming up so close to that high, but just having so much trouble to get there. Yeah, you want to have, any trade you get into, you want to have a specific strategy. Meaning, if I'm getting into this trade at this level, my stop is here, my take profit is here. Right? And that's why when you have a strategy that you know, and you have a specific plan, stop, boom, take profit, and you have a specific strategy that you know kind of is proven to work over the long term, when you go through drawdown, you have a stop, hits your stop, it is what it is, you took a loss. And you don't get emotional because you just know that you just allow the statistics to play out over a longer period of trades. I'm in a short right now, down 120. Should I keep holding it? I mean, I can't tell you that. You gotta have your exit point. You gotta have that's why you want to wait for market to come to you, because you want to know a specific level to get out at. If price goes above this level, then it invalidates my trade, and I don't even want to be in the trade. So that's the level that you want to get out at. But that's why you wait for price to come to you, because you want to have a good risk to reward ratio. Like, for me personally, I don't think it's a good idea to short up here, just because we're so close to those all-time highs. Anytime we're close to all-time highs, it's not a good idea to short, because market typically is like attracted to hit those all-time highs when we're this close. Not to say, I mean, could a short work out? Of course it could. But that's why you have to just trade your strategy. If you have a strategy and you short all-time highs with that strategy and it's proven to work, by all means, do it. But, you know, for me personally, I know not to do that. I'm learning, but would you say it's really a way to make money? I mean, it's a way to make money, but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Don't be fooled by trading influencers making you think that this is a get-rich-quick scheme. It is absolutely not. Trading is very hard, and there's a reason why, you know, so little people, like, there's a reason why not many people are profitable, and that's a good thing. I like it. I personally like when trading is, that trading is very difficult, right? Because you don't want something that everyone can make money doing. Imagine if trading was so easy that 90% of America could just make money trading. Everybody would be trading. Then trading wouldn't be so, you know, it wouldn't be as special in a sense of like, but when you have something so difficult like trading, and you can master something that is that difficult, and you can prove to make money doing something that is that difficult, it's almost like an accomplishment that not many people have, right? That's why a Ferrari is so valuable, is because not many people can afford a Ferrari. If everyone can afford a Ferrari, it wouldn't be valuable. But the fact that a small amount of people can get to that level to afford it makes it so valuable. So that's my point, is like, trading is difficult. It's not going to be easy whatsoever. The emotional aspect of trading, the discipline it takes, the strategy, the risk management, it's a business. You got to look at it as a business, and that's the problem, is most people do not look at it as a business. Most people just like, they look at it as going to a casino, which is, you're never going to be profitable doing that. I get that, but would you say if you get to a point you wouldn't have to work anymore? So me, I have a little bit different viewpoint than most traders on TikTok. I don't think you should really ever be at a point. The only time, in my eyes, the only time you should make trading your main source of income is if you have a bunch of money saved in your account to where you can trade, and trading and you don't have to pay for bills, right? Say you have a bunch of money saved in your account, you've proven to yourself that you're profitable, you've proven to be able to make money in the market, to take money out of the market, then you can trade full time, because right, money is not it's not going to make you emotional. But if you're trying to trade to pay for your bills, it puts you in a horrible position to where you're going to go through drawdown, and when you're going through drawdown and you have bills due at the end of the month, it puts you in a bad mental space to overtrade, to take stupid trades, and it's not a good spot to be in. But when you have a 9-to-5, when you're just learning trading and you don't have to make money this month trading, you're in a mental spot where I can take losing trades and I don't care. I'm just going to allow my statistics to play out. So that's my point, is like, and like, even if you're making like 20K, for me personally, even if I was making $20, $30, $40,000 a month trading, I still wouldn't probably, I mean, things could change, but as of now, I don't think I'd make trading my only income. I would use trading to fund other businesses and fund other things I want to do. But trust me when I say this, you do not want to just trade in the morning and then go relax for the rest of the day. It sounds fun on paper, but trust me, it is not fun. You got to be productive. My opinion, you have to be productive in life, whether you're working some kind of job you love, or trading should be a gateway for you to do and fund the things, maybe a business or a hobby that can make you money. That's just my opinion, but you will have to sell your Honda. Let's not talk about Lambo. What's wrong with a Honda? Hondas are, hey, I think Hondas are better than Lambos. Nah, I'm joking. Lambos are better, but Honda's more reliable. If you're looking to get from point A to point B, listen, both cars will get you there. One car's going to be more fun, obviously. I told you sell, this is your best entry. Depends where your TP is. If you're scalping for 10 points, then yeah, maybe that could have been a short. But if you're trying to go for those lows, I don't know. Like I said, it could work out, but me personally, I don't think it's a good idea. Like, I don't take 10 point, take profits. So even if I was to get short, this wouldn't be a take profit for me. I need a bigger move. It depends on your strategy, right? If you have a 10-point stop and a 10-point short, some people do that. And if you were able to take a 10-point scalp here, that's all. I mean, if it's your, that's not bad trade if it's your strategy. I literally know traders who take 10-point scalps on NQ. I hear you. I just want to know if there really is money to make. Oh, trading. So here's the crazy part about trading. When you actually learn how to trade, the scalability of trading is absolutely wild, especially with prop firms. Especially today's days with prop firms, you could scale trading so freaking hard. Like, Apex allows you to have, right? Even let's put it even for me, right? Last week there were with my strategy, there were 3 good setups last week. Out of 5 trading days, there were 3 good setups. Last week, out of those 3 setups, on 7 funded accounts, risking $400 an account, that's an $8,000 week. Now, these are evaluation accounts, so I'm not saying like I made $8,000, like, but that's my point, is that's only 7 accounts. Like, there are people who trade over 20 accounts. So you can imagine 20 accounts. If you can get to that, my point is you can get to that level. It's possible. Now, is it easy? Absolutely. It's not easy at all. It takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of discipline, skill. the right psychology. But put it this way, if you're risking, say, if you have 300, right? Let me see. Yeah, so if you're risking 300 and you have 20 accounts, right? That's a $6,000 day. You take 2 trades a week, that's a $12,000 week. So that's my point, is like, the scalability is crazy when you actually have the discipline and the right strategy and the right psychology. Now, like I said, it's going to take for most people, it takes a very long time to get there, but it's possible. The maintenance is a hell of a lot cheaper on a Honda. Yeah, that's for sure. Listen, and this is somebody, I drive a lot of different cars, right? I drive like different cars every single month just because I do this for a living. I buy and sell cars for a living. Like, I enjoy, to be honest with you, even a car like I've never driven before. It could be a Honda. It could be a new Honda I've never driven before. Like, I enjoy it just as much as like, and any car gets, listen, any car gets boring. I don't care if it's a Ferrari, I don't care if it's a Lambo, or I don't care if it's a Bugatti. Trust me, eventually that car starts to get boring. Whatever it is, right? Because you just get used to it. You get used to it, and it just becomes a regular car. Now, maybe Bugatti's different because it's super fast, but for like 90% of cars out there, you're going to buy it. It's fun for the first week, and then you're like, whatever. And this is coming from somebody who loves cars. Like, I enjoy cars. I'm a car guy. How to pass the eval. I'm doing it very slowly, but I'm at a point with no patience anymore. You have to stick to your strategy. If you have, stick to your strategy and try to learn from your mistakes. Like, if you take a trade and you take a loss, try to figure out what you could have done to possibly prevent that loss. Could you have maybe stayed out of the setup? Is there something that was telling you to not get into that trade? But it's patience. That's hard. That's the hard part about trading, is you're going to go through drawdown. It's very easy when you're in profit, when you're making money. Everybody's fine there. But when you're going through drawdown, it gets very hard. But one thing you don't want to do is get impatient and start risking up and start blowing accounts every day. Don't do that. That's not going to help you at all. Because the thing about it is if you can't pass an eval, like if you can't be patient and you can't pass an eval and get to that profit target, like what makes you think you're going to pay for an activation fee, get put in a funded account, and then automatically you're just going to be super profitable once you get in a funded account? Like, if you can't pass an eval, you're probably not going to be able to, get through a funded account. You're probably going to blow a funded account. And that's fine. Listen, I was there too. I was in a spot where, I was super impatient, but don't look at trading as a, something you have to learn in a year because I want to become a millionaire within the first year. It's not going to happen. Like, look at it as a longer term game. If I'm disciplined in trading, if I have a strategy, I'm disciplined, I'm trying to build my psychology, I'm trying to be focused and only take my strategy, right? This is how I can be patient. Even though I called out that it could bounce right here, I didn't take it because it's not my strategy. And I have no emotions about missing this whole entry right here. Why? Because it's not my strategy. So, like, I look at it as a longer term game. Like, I want to make money long term over time, and over time in trading, you can start scaling up. You can have more and more accounts, and then try, like, eventually, right, with the right discipline and the right accounts, you could start making really good money. It's possible. I had 3 wins and 1 loss today. The loss came from being cocky and not following my strategy. That's a big part of, most people, if you don't follow your strategy, And this is the problem with some of the stages some people are in. They have a strategy, right? And they take their strategy. They take trades on their strategy and they have winning trades. They go through a winning period. And what ends up happening is sometimes you may get days where the strategy just isn't there. And when you begin to force things that aren't there, that's not your strategy, what you end up doing is giving away profits. And then you have stupid trades, but then when you have good trades in your strategy, all you're doing is making back losses on the dumb trades. So you're not making money, you're just in a break-even spot. But look at it this way, some of the most profitable traders out there do not take trades every single day. If you look at those traders, if you look at traders that are actually profitable, that have $100,000 months or whatever, if you look at their calendar, some of them take like one trade a week. And that's because they're waiting for that perfect setup in their strategy. All they need is a good setup and that's it. But they've scaled to that level where they're able to just be that patient and, you know, take one good trade. But when you're beginning, I know it's very hard because you're taking one micro and you're making like, you know, $50 per trade. So it doesn't seem like anything. But don't look at it at that. Look at it at the scalability that it's not about the money. It's not about making $50 today because, right, $50 with one micro can turn into $5,000 with the right account sizes and the right accounts. So somebody can take the same trade as you, make $5,000 and you only made $50, but they have more accounts, they've been doing it longer, so they're at a higher level. Are you trading the same trade on all accounts simultaneously? Why have many accounts? Yeah, so if you do have different strategies, right, that's like more of a higher, I guess, once you've traded more, you can have different accounts for different strategies, but these accounts I have for a specific strategy that I'm trying to that I've back tested and it's been pretty profitable. So that's why I have these 7 accounts that I trade this strategy on. And I don't know, maybe eventually it's just scalability. If I may trade all of the accounts on the strategy. We'll see, but the reason I copy trade is just the scalability of it, right? If I can do $400 per trade, 7 accounts, that's $3,500 in one day, you know, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's around 35, is it? Let me do the math. I'm not the best at math. 400 times 7, oh, it's 28. Never mind. $400 an account, right, times 7 accounts is almost $3,000. So that's what I'm talking about, the scalability of it. When you have multiple accounts and copy trade them. And that's how people were able to take over $1 million in one payout on Apex. Just as profitable with less risk. Exactly. And you can take, when you have a bunch of accounts, you can de-risk. Right? So you have 10 accounts, right? You can risk $100 and make $1,000 a day. Or you can have 20 accounts and you can risk $100 and you can make $2,000 a day. And all you're risking, right? You're making $1,000 a day on 10 accounts and all you're risking is $100 and you have $2,400 of drawdown in that account. So you can see you're making a lot of money with very little drawdown, but it takes patience to get to that payout level. Then finally, when you get to that payout level, you can even start sizing up. You can start doing $200 risk, $300 risk, depending on, you know, where you are in your account. I'm working on 9 PAs with micros. Just want $75 to $100 a day. Yeah, and that's the thing with these like higher accounts where you start to get like 10, 20 accounts. You try to get them funded. You really have to be patient, right? Because you do not want to blow 10 accounts and then all of a sudden you have to pay the activation, you have to pay for the evaluation on 10 accounts again. So it's better to be patient, slowly pass those accounts, and then when you pass those accounts, you've proven to yourself, you've passed those accounts already being patient. So you technically should be able to get to that payout and be patient. But yeah, don't oversize. There's no reason to oversize. It's a long-term game. You don't have to get a payout, you know, you don't have to get a payout this month. Like here's the thing. Trading is almost a thing where you just have to look at what everyone else does and then don't do what they do, because most people are doing it wrong. Most people have bad psychology. Look at what people are doing. They're buying a bunch of accounts. They're risking an insane amount on those accounts. They're blowing those accounts the next day. That's what most people are doing. And that's why these prop firms make so much money, is because most people don't have the discipline to be patient. Everybody has this mentality of wanting to get rich quick, especially with trading and how it's portrayed. And this guy just bought a Lambo. This guy is trading on the beach. And this guy's not doing anything. And this guy's like, that's not realistic. Unless, is it realistic when you've been trading maybe for 10 years, 8 to 10 years already? Yeah, people get to that kind of level. But for the average person that's starting to trade, you're not going to get to that level anytime soon. So for you, it's a long-term game. It's not trying to get to an insane payout. It's learning the skill and proving to yourself that your strategy works. And then when you prove to yourself that your strategy works, guess what? Your discipline and psychology become better when you prove to yourself that your strategy works, because you can go through drawdown, right? And then when you go through drawdown, all you know is just statistics. I took a losing trade because statistically, this strategy is going to have losing trades. It's not because the strategy is bad, it's just the statistics. But I think of it as compound trading, small over time wins. Yeah, it's for sure. You have to look at it as compound, right? You have one account, you're only making $100. But if you have a bunch of accounts, you could be doing the same exact thing, but instead of making $100, you're making $2,000 a day. And obviously everyone knows $2,000 a day is an insane amount of money. So that's why I watch the S9 Twins, so I can learn on what not to do. Yeah, they're entertainment. They're not like, they're doing it for, there's two types of traders. There's two groups of traders. There are traders who actually wanting to develop their skill in trading and get good at trading itself. And there are traders who just want to be entertaining, which, hey, I'm not hating on anybody who wants to be entertaining in trading. It's a strategy to make money. You're entertaining in trading. You get affiliate commissions. You make money with affiliates. I'm not bashing on that at all. But I just want people to realize that looking at somebody like that to actually learn the skill of trading is like, it's like looking at like kindergartners play basketball, and you're trying to learn basketball from a bunch of kindergartners playing. Is it entertaining? It's probably entertaining, but is it realistic to learn? Like, probably not. When I started, I was 7,500 above threshold and 4 days to pay out and blew it. Trust me, I hear that so many times. That's where psychology comes in. And that's where you have to just stick to your strategy. I don't care, like, it doesn't matter if you're $100 away from your payout or $50 away, or even you took a trade and you're $2 away from your payout. You should not take a trade just to get, like, this is what some people do and why they blow their account. This is the story I've heard time and time again. They get so close to either a payout or passing an evaluation account, and what they end up doing, say evaluation account, they almost passed their evaluation account. Boom, they took a trade. They're $50 away from passing their evaluation account. They're like, if I take just like one E-mini contract, I can quickly scalp this and make that $50 and just quickly scalp it. It's not a strategy, but I'm just quickly trying to scalp it. They quickly try to scalp it. This thing starts turning against them. And they go into drawdown. They're like, no, I can't. I almost passed the accounts. I can't take a loss. And then they have blown the account. Because they went heavy size. You should just follow your strategy. Like, I personally don't, like, if you're close to passing your account, what difference does it make if you pass it today or you pass it tomorrow? It makes absolutely no difference in the long term. But what does make a difference is if you blow your account today and have to start all over, that makes a difference. That's why you have to have rules. Like, you have to have rules for yourself. I take one trade. If I take a winning trade, maybe I stop trading for the day. Because it's a winning day, maybe I stop trading for the day. If I take a winning trade, or if I take a losing trade, maybe I allow myself one more trade if there's a setup. And if there's 2 losing trades, I stop for the day. Right? You have to have certain rules. Like, and then maybe I can't take more than 3 trades a day or 2 trades a day. And then based on those rules, you adjust your risk per trade to allow yourself, you know. Rules are there to protect your account, right? Rules aren't there just to, like, go and do that. Oh, dude, this pivot point has been, holy, dude, this, look at this. First rejection right here in this morning off this pivot. Second rejection right there. Then we kind of pushed above it, rejected again. Here's another rejection. Here's another rejection. Dude, this pivot point is like, it's been crazy. Watch we reject it again. Where we rejected it like 4 times already. Maybe finally it's gonna start breaking through it. But yeah, you should set a max daily loss limit. Dude, there are even traders that get, there's a program. There's ways that you even get locked out of your account. There's things you could do that you set a loss limit, and then once your accounts hit that loss limit, it locks you out of your... That's for like people who can't control themselves and for them not to overtrade. Me personally, I could stop myself from trading. That I don't need that. But if you're somebody who can't control yourself, that's a strategy. You can get something like that, or maybe it's in your brokerage, or, you know, you have to get it. But there are stuff that can lock you out of your account. So that my daily loss limit is $400. If I hit $400, it locks you out of your account, and there's nothing you could do to take another trade. Man, what time is it? All right, it's 11:13. I'm gonna be hopping off soon. Looks like today is just today is a day where didn't get a setup. Yes, I do this on my Trade Evade with daily loss limit 300 per day. Yeah, if you can. Yeah, there are some prop firms that have it. Trade Evade looks like you said. Yeah, Trade Evade has it. It's a good idea if you can't be like, if you need that, nothing wrong with having that. You want to protect yourself. Like, me personally, right? You'll see a lot of times if I take a winning trade, I'm like very reluctant to take another trade unless it's a good setup and I really like it. I'll take another trade, but most of the time, if I take one winning trade and I take a good trade, I'm done. That's all you need is one winning trade. You don't need to be over trading, and one good setup is all you need. One moment in price, right? Out of 2-3 hours of trading, you need one moment in price where it's very predictable. Like, even today's an example. This was very predictable today. This move right here, although it's not my strategy and I didn't take it, but this is very predictable. Why is this very predictable? Again, right? Why did price go down there? If you look on a 15-minute time frame, we had a bullish gap. We have all-time highs. We're probably going to want to go for those all-time highs. Bullish gap, retraces, taps back into that bullish gap. What do we have down there too? Can't see it on this chart, but we have VWAP down there. We have VWAP down there. We have the 200 down there. A lot of support in this area. And this is the top of the 5-minute range. Like, so many things that are telling you that this could be a very heavy support level. Something like this is all you need. A strategy like this is all you need. One strategy like this per day. One trade with good risk management per day. Being disciplined. Boom. Is Trump talking today? I didn't know Trump's talking today. Is he really talking today? And today's a no news Monday, so do we have news tomorrow though? Sorry, I'm just curious. Tomorrow's a no news Tuesday. Not really any news tomorrow either. Start getting a bunch of news on Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So today and tomorrow we really have no news. No, I didn't see anything. If you go on Forex Factory, they don't say that Trump is talking today. Typically they'll tell you. I don't see anything on Forex Factory. But yeah, I'm gonna be hopping off here too. It's already 11 o'clock. Price action is slowing, almost 11:30. Price action is slowing down, so we're having a lot of trouble getting for those highs. So we're just kind of like just ranging at this pivot here. So it could be a good time to just call it and you know, come back tomorrow. If you took a good trade, better to call it. If you didn't take any trade, being break even on the day is just as good as making money. So as taking a winning trade. So, but yeah, so that's that. Yeah, I'm on every day. I'm live every day unless something comes up and I can't be live. Most of the time I'm live. So I gotta remember the last time I missed a day. It's been a very long time. So yeah, I'm live every day. I'll be here tomorrow, 9:30. Hop by, stop by. I'll be here. So that's that. Peace out. Have a good day, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.